Okay, we are going to start on our backs. And so you're going to come onto your back and you're going to place the soles of your feet together. You're going to come into Supta Baddha Konasana. So laying down, soles of the feet together, knees drop open to whatever comfort level you feel you have today. If this is too much, you can take your feet wide and allow your knees to knock in towards each other. You can also prop your knees up if they're out wide with some pillows. And then one hand onto your chest and one hand onto your belly. And close your eyes. And taking a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Again, in through the nose, out through the mouth. And one more deep breath like that. Fullest breath of the day so far. Inhale through the nose, holding that breath at the top. And out through the mouth, exhale. And then starting to breathe in and out through the nose. And taking these first few moments of class to scan the body, check in, and see how the mind, the physical body, the energy in the body, and just see how everything's feeling today. Maybe notice if there's any tension circulating anywhere in the body, any areas that feel a little stiff or stuck or tight, tensious. And then as you lay here, set an intention for your practice today. So whatever you'd like to get out of your practice, whatever setting an intention means to you, and take a deep, full breath in through the nose to gather that intention up. And send it out through the mouth, exhale. And then using your hands to help draw the knees back together. Pull the knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a little rock side to side. Maybe a few circles on the low back. And if you're circling, circle in the other direction. And then we're going to take our right leg up towards the ceiling. Send your left leg forward along the ground and let it rest. And you're going to reach up through that right foot to reach the right hip away from the right shoulder. So the sides of the hips and the sides of the waist feel even. And then we're going to do 3 big slow ankle circles going to the right. So going clockwise with that right ankle. And try and get the toes involved. Notice if there's any areas that feel like you lose a little bit of control or you can't quite get a smooth big circle. And then switch directions. Just do your best to keep that speed the same. Trying to gain as much control as you can. And maybe notice some shaky spots in the ankle as well. And then you're going to rebend both legs. We're going to drop our knees over to the left, and you're going to look over your right shoulder. The left hand can come to the top of your right leg, reaching out through that right arm, gazing to the right, and take a deep breath in, softening through that whole right side. Full exhale. Soften the shoulder, soften the sides of the neck. Sides of the rib cage. And then you're going to roll all the way onto your left side. And then you're going to take your hands straight out in front of you. You're going to clasp your hands like you're doing a loud clap. And you're going to squeeze your arms and squeeze your fists tightly. Have a straight line with your spine. So make sure your hips are in line with your shoulders. And keeping that straight spine the whole time, we're going to bring our right knee towards our chest. And I want you to visualize that you have a tennis ball holding on behind you're holding onto a tennis ball behind your right knee. So you're going to hold on, you're going to bring that knee up towards the ceiling, opening up the hip without dropping the hip back. And then you're going to reach back through the heel. So it's as if we're drawing the biggest circle we can with our knee. And that circle is actually coming from the hip joint. And then we're going to bring that knee all the way back in towards our chest. So knee comes in nice and tight, core is engaged. We're going to bring that knee up towards the ceiling. Think about that tennis ball behind the knee. Reach back through your heel to engage the outer hip. Engage the glute, and then circle it all the way back through. One more. Knee to chest. Have your head hovering if that feels okay. reaching back through the heel, so just supporting through the sides of the neck. And then once the knees meet each other, you're going to reverse the direction. You're going to kick straight back through the heel, lift the shin up towards the ceiling, bring that knee all the way in towards your chest as your heel drops. And again, think about your spine. The core stays engaged, supporting your spine. Bring that shin up, drop the heel as you pull the knee in. And then one more, kick back through the heel, lift that leg up, and then drop the heel as you pull the knee in towards your chest. And then set the knee down. You're going to roll back onto your back. Straighten your spine out if you need to. Send the right leg forward. Take the left leg up towards the ceiling. Flex the foot. Sides of the waist are long. So think about reaching that left hip away from your left shoulder. And then big, slow ankle circles going counterclockwise to start. 3 going counterclockwise. Nice and slow. Think 1 mile an hour, and you're keeping that same speed the whole time. Get the toes involved. Notice the sensations in the arches of the feet. You might get some cramping depending on how much movement you've been getting into your ankles and feet. And then switch directions. So you're going to go clockwise, slowing down a little bit through those shaky spots. See if you can gain a little control. Notice the areas you want to skip right over as well. Last one. And then bend the knees. We're going to drop our knees over to the right and look over the left shoulder. So right hand on top of the left leg, just a gentle support, reaching out through that left side, opening and softening through the left rib cage, left low back. A couple deep breaths, just allowing your body to melt into this shape. Good. And then we're going to roll to your right side, and you're going to clasp those hands. I know I'm facing away from you here. So hover that head, just hovering it off the ground. Spine is straight, so hips are in line with your shoulders. Pretend there's a tennis ball behind your left knee. You're going to bring the knee towards your chest without rounding the back. You're going to bring the knee up towards the ceiling. You're going to kick back through the heel. Feel the outer hip, feel your glute, going back as far as you can without arching the back. And then bring that knee all the way back in towards your chest. So we're isolating just the hip joint, stabilizing in every other joint surrounding the hip. And one more going this direction. Squeeze your arms, engage through the whole spine, reaching back through the heel. And then once those knees meet each other, you're going to reverse. So kick back through the heel, let the whole shin lift, and then drop the heel as you pull that knee in. Kicking straight back. Whole shin comes up in a straight line, and then drop the heel as you pull your knee in. And last one, kicking back, lift up through the shin, drop the heel, pull the knee in, and rest. And then roll back onto your back, hug your knees in, do a couple rocks forward and back along your spine. And then we're gonna rock all the way up, cross at the ankles, and come onto your hands and knees. So hands beneath the shoulders, knees beneath the hips. Cat-cow. Inhale, extend your chest. So global extension. Exhale, press the ground away to round the upper back, pull the belly in. Inhale, big back bend, extend your spine, reaching your chest forward. Exhale, press the ground away to round, pull it in. And then starting at your tailbone, one vertebrae at a time, low back, mid back, upper back, and head. Again, tailbone, mid back, low back, upper back, and head. One more each. Tailbone, extending into the low back, mid back, upper back, and head. Again, tailbone, low back, mid back, upper back, and head. Come into a flat back, neutral spine. You're going to take your left leg back, and you're going to kickstand that right foot over towards the left side of your mat. So that shin is at a diagonal. Okay? You're going to step your left leg back as you sink into that right hip, and then come back. Step back and shifting back forward. So we're just stretching dynamically into that right hip. It's kind of like a modified pigeon. Okay? And then we're going to cross our leg over to the opposite side. So the left foot is going to go towards the right side of your mat. And we're just coming out of it each time. So you should feel a nice big stretch dynamically in the outside of that right hip. One more. and rest. You're gonna unkickstand that right foot, bring the left knee down, and we're gonna take our right leg out to the side. So that right leg is straight out to the side like this, okay? And then with that leg out to the side, shift forward and back. So now you're getting a stretch through that right inner thigh. So we're gonna be hitting every aspect of the hips today. Shifting back and forward. One more, shifting back, and then pause with your hands directly underneath the shoulders. We're gonna take our left arm, and you're gonna reach that left arm underneath your right arm until the shoulder and the ear come down onto the ground. I'm gonna show you this direction. So that you're reaching, ear and shoulder come down, and then you're gonna press into that right hand as if you could roll onto your shoulder blade. So you're getting a big stretch through that upper back, shoulder blade. Couple big deep breaths. Pressing down through the back of the left hand into the floor, pressing into the right hand to roll open more. Big inhales create space. Exhales, maintain. And then pressing into that right hand, come back up to all fours. Take the right foot in. And then you're gonna take that right foot straight back. So we're gonna kickstand the left foot out or in. Kickstand that left foot towards the right side of your mat. And then you're gonna shift back and forth. Stepping that right leg back as you shift back towards that left hip. One more, and then we're gonna kickstand off, or we're gonna take our right leg off to the left. So crossing across the body, getting a little bit deeper into the outside of that left hip. Couple more. There's dynamic movement, shifting forward and back. Good. And then you're gonna unkickstand that left foot. Take your right knee down and the left foot straight out to the side. Shift forward and back. The spine stays straight. No rounding through the pelvis, so only go back as far as your hips have the capacity to, without changing any joint above or below. So trying to keep that left knee straight, spine straight. And then we're gonna take our right arm, so you're gonna pause with the shoulders over the wrist, take your right arm, reach underneath the left arm until the ear and shoulder come down, and then pressing into that left hand to roll yourself open, stretching through that right shoulder blade. We're pressing down through the right hand and pressing down through the left hand. So both are rooting into the ground. Big deep breaths. Fill your belly up on your inhale. Strong exhales. Trying to create more space in that upper back. And then pressing into that left hand to come back to hands and knees. Take the left foot in. And then just crawl your hands forward a little bit if you're not at the front of your mat. Tuck your toes under and lift your hips up for your first downward facing dog. And so a straight line from your hands to your shoulders to your hips, as much bend in your knees as you need to get that straight spine. And then think about your hands for a moment. Spread those fingers really wide. Notice if the weight is just in the heel of the hands and the pinky edge of the hand. See if you can press through that index finger and thumb and get every knuckle to firmly root into the floor. And then from that pressing down of the hands, wrap your triceps back towards the wall behind you to create a little space. And then hug the upper arms towards your ears, let your head be heavy. And then think about lifting your armpits up. So you're creating a little engagement through there. And then lifting your sits bones up towards the ceiling. Start to engage through your thighs, pressing them straight back. And then drawing those inner heels down and back. Good. And we're going to inhale, shift forward into plank. Good. Lower to your knees. You're going to squeeze your elbows in towards your rib cage. Lower halfway down chaturanga. Keep the shoulders lifted. Inhale, come back up to plank on your knees. Lift your knees up and shift back into downward facing dog. Okay, either staying with your knees or we're going to move to our toes. Inhale, shift forward. Watch your shoulders. Exhale, keeping the shoulders lifted, lower halfway. Inhale, come straight back up in a straight line, so no lag in the low back. Exhale, downward facing dog. If it felt challenging to come up in a straight line like a plank and not use your low back, I'm going to move back to the chaturanga on your knees. or shorten the distance that you're lowering. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, lower chaturanga. Inhale, use your core, come straight back up. Exhale, downward facing dog. We have one more. Inhale, listen to your body. Exhale, keep your shoulders lifted, keep your elbows squeezing in. Inhale, back up. And exhale, downward facing dog. Take 2 deep breaths here. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Hug your arms, find the strength in your hands, the strength all the way up the arm to the underarm, through the spine, pressing your sits bones up, pressing your thighs back, and drawing those inner heels down and back. And then inhale, shift forward into plank. Exhale, we're gonna slowly lower all the way to our belly. Uncurl the toes, hands right next to your rib cage. Inhale, pull your chest forward and up for cobra. Get all 10 toes to press down. The knees are lifted, so the quads are engaged. The pelvis is pressing, so the belly is engaged. And the upper back is lifting and coiling that spine up. Squeeze your elbows in towards each other. Feel the shoulder blades on the back. And exhale, release. Either staying with cobra or slide your hands back an inch so they're underneath your elbows. And inhale, lift, upward facing dog. Shoulders back. Align your shoulders directly over your wrists. Strong feet. The knees are off the ground. And exhale, lift your hips up and back using your belly, downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. And you're gonna walk your hands back to meet your feet. Have your feet a little bit wider than hips distance. And just keeping your hands hanging, let your elbows relax, let your head relax, just sway your torso side to side. And maybe let that get a little bit bigger. And shake your head yes and no if that feels like you need that in order to release tension there. And then we're gonna walk our hands all the way over towards, as far as we can, towards the left foot. Keep your feet planted where they are. And I want you to observe, notice how the weight is on the outside of your left foot and that foot everts, right? So you lift the arch of your left foot, you roll to the outer edge of your left. And then your right foot, the arch collapses in. And then we're gonna go to the other side and just feel that twist up through the leg. You roll to the outer edge of your right foot as the arch lifts and you collapse and pronate into that left foot. One more each. Walk your hands over to the left as far as you can. Just feel what happens in the lower body. Feel what happens up through the hips, up the chain. And then one more over to the right. Feel what happens in the ankle and all the way up the leg. And then back through center. Bend your knees, roll up one vertebrae at a time, all the way up. Shoulders come back up, head comes up, and then step to the front of your mat for Surya Namaskar A. Okay, feet together. If you have anything going on with your low back today, to keep your feet hips distance. Otherwise, big toes touching, heels slightly separated. And then hands to your heart center, roll your shoulders back, align and stack your head, your shoulders, your hips, your knees, and your heels. And take a deep breath in. Full exhale, spread your toes, feel your feet grounding into the earth, get tall through the crown of the head. Inhale, circle the arms out and up, stretch tall. Exhale, soft knees, forward fold, head and neck relax. Inhale, come halfway up, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, circle the arms out and up, stretch tall. And then you're gonna bring your arms straight out in front of you. Make tight fists. Okay, so just squeezing your fists, have your arms parallel to each other. Hold your ribs in. You're gonna draw your shoulders up towards your ears as high as you can. And then you're gonna squeeze those shoulders back towards each other. Draw your shoulders down away from your ears and then punch the knuckles forward. So we're essentially moving our shoulder blades. It feels like we're moving our shoulders. We're actually moving our scapula. Draw your shoulders up towards your ears, keeping your elbows straight. Plug those shoulders back towards each other. Draw your shoulder blades down away from your ears and then punch those arms forward. One more, shoulders up, squeeze it back, make it like a circle, drop them down and punch it forward. Reverse the direction, squeeze the shoulder blades together, lift them up towards your ears, punch the knuckles forward and then drop them down. Squeeze the shoulder blades back, lift them up, Squeeze the fists, punch forward, drop it down. Let's do one more. Squeeze the shoulders, lift up, punch it forward, and drop it down. Take your arms right by your side, palms forward, squeeze tight fists. We're gonna drop our chin towards our chest. You're gonna scrape your chin to the right. You're gonna drop your ear towards the shoulder. Notice if the shoulders start to drop or move. Keep everything stable. Extend your neck back and around. Getting the fullest circle that you can with your neck, ear to shoulder, chin rotates down, back to neutral, switch directions. Chin goes to the left, ear tilts, extend your neck back and around, keep everything engaged. Ear to opposite shoulder, chin down, and neutral, and let's do one more each. Chin to the right, ear to shoulder, extend back and around, try not to lean. Try not to creep your shoulders towards your ears either. Chin down and neutral and twist to the left. Ear to shoulder, extend back and around. Ear to right shoulder, chin down and neutral. Lift your head up, hands to your heart center. Bring your feet a little closer together. Inhale, circle the arms out and up, stretch tall. Exhale, soft knees forward, fold, head and neck relax. Inhale, engage your upper back, halfway lift. Plant your hands, step back into plank. Shifting forward, bend your elbows, lower halfway down or all the way down. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog, so your choice. Exhale, lift your belly, downward facing dog, hips up and back. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Deep breath in, hug your arms, lift long through your spine, engage your legs, root the inner heels down. And hiding those inner heels behind your big toe. And come high into your toes, inhale. Bend your knees, exhale, look forward, step or float, your choice. Inhale, flat back, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, strong legs, circle your arms out and up, stretch tall, pull the belly in. Exhale, fold again, head and neck relaxes. Inhale, come halfway up, lengthen your spine. Plant your hands, step back into your plank, shifting forward either on your knees or on your toes, lower to chaturanga or to your belly. Inhale, flipping your feet, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Strong arms, press into that index finger and thumb. Deep exhale. One more, inhale. Exhaling. High onto your toes. Bend your knees. Exhale, look forward, step or float. Halfway lift, inhale. Engage your upper back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, circle the arms out and up, stretch tall, pull the belly in, and fold again. Exhale, relax your neck. Inhale, halfway lift, engage the upper back. Plant your hands, step back into your plank. Shifting forward, exhale, squeeze your elbows, chaturanga on your knees or toes. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Strong feet, feel your quads in either variation. Exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog. 2 deep breaths. Find some stillness. And bring your feet a little closer together. Float your right leg up towards the ceiling, inhale. Exhale, shift forward, knee towards your nose, round the upper back. Nice and smooth. Inhale, lift all the way up. So less momentum, more strength. Exhale, knee towards your right tricep. Inhale, lift with control. Exhale to your left tricep. You're just moving in that direction as best you can. Inhale, lift. Exhale, step the foot in between the hands. You're going to turn the left foot onto its side. Align your feet hips distance apart. And inhale, rise to warrior one. You're going to reach your arms up. Full breath in. Full breath out. Walk your right foot to the right slightly. So we have a little space, a little bit wider than hips distance. Interlace your hands behind your back. Inhale, lift and open your chest. Roll your shoulders back. Maybe a little wiggle side to side to open up across your chest. Keep the neck soft and neutral. Draw the belly in and the ribs in. So we're opening the chest. Notice if you're arching into your low back. You pull the rib cage in. And then exhale, forward fold, either belly resting on your thigh or ear reaching towards the inner ankle. Keep the shoulders lifting away from the ears. Hug that right hip in and back. Feel that deep opening in that outer right hip. And then feel the strength of your left leg. That left thigh is lifting away from the floor. And you're hugging the entire upper thigh to the femur, to the upper thigh bone. And then you're going to root down through both heels. Start to lift your chest, leading with your chest. Rise all the way back up. Reach your arms towards the ceiling. And hands to the floor. Exhale, step back. Chaturanga, either knees or toes. Maybe you go all the way to your belly. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, lifting your hips. Downward facing dog. Left leg up, inhale, reaching through the heel. Nice and controlled. Exhale, knee towards your nose, round the upper back. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, knee towards your left tricep as high as you can. Inhale, lift, smooth and controlled. Exhale to your right tricep. Inhale, lift. Exhale, step the foot in between the hands. Right foot onto its side, feet or hips distance. Inhale, rise up, warrior one. Just take your foot a little bit wider. Feel the belly draw in and up to support your pelvis. Strong reach through the arms. And we're going to interlace your hands behind your back, opposite finger on top, so the awkward way. And then roll your shoulders back, open your chest. Again, check in with the rib cage. We don't want to just flare our ribs or arch into our low back. We're trying to open the shoulders and chest, keeping the spine neutral. Take one more inhale. And then exhale, hinging from the hips. Maybe your belly rests on your thigh here as you reach your arms up and over. Maybe you're folding deeper, going inside. Wherever you are, hug that left hip in and back so your hips are neutral and in line. And feel that right thigh. Notice if it's relaxed. Can you lift and hug all of the upper thigh muscles, the quadriceps, the hamstrings, the adductors. Hug them to the bone. Keep the shoulders lifting away from your ears and then pressing into both feet. Lift your head, lead with your chest. Inhale, rise all the way up. Release your arms, reach up. Hands to the ground. Exhale, step back into your plank. Lowering either through chaturanga to upward facing dog or to your belly, coming into cobra and downward facing dog for everyone, hips up and back. So we're going to do that a little bit more quickly. One breath per movement. So each movement will have either an inhale or an exhale, and trying to gracefully move from one to the next. And take your right leg up, inhale. Exhale, smoothly draw the knee towards your nose, a little pause of your breath. Inhale, take the leg up, little pause. Exhale, knee to your right tricep, and go at your pace. Inhale, lift. Exhale to your left tricep. Inhale, lift, but trying to slow the breath down. Exhale, step it forward, left foot onto its side. Inhale, warrior one, in and out through the nose. Exhale, interlace your hands. Inhale is the lift and opening of your chest. Exhale, fold, arms up and over. Little pause of your breath. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up. Exhale, hands to the floor. That same exhale is going to take you down to the floor or through your chaturanga. Inhale is your back bend, your cobra or upward facing. Exhale is your downward facing dog. Take a breath in. And full exhale. And again, left side, left leg lifts, inhale. Knee to nose, exhale. Inhale, lift. Do your best to time your breath. Exhale, left tricep. Inhale, lift. Exhale, right tricep. And it's okay if you're even slower than I am. Inhale, lift. Exhale, step it forward. Slower is harder. Right foot down. Inhale, rise. Warrior one, reach up. Exhale, interlace your hands. Inhale, lift and open your chest. Exhale, fold forward. Little pause of your breath. Root through your feet. Inhale, slowly reach your arms up. Hands to the floor. Exhale, step back. Use that same breath to lower through your chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Right side, right leg lifts. Inhale. Knee towards your nose. Exhale. This is the last one. Inhale, lift. Nice and smooth. Exhale to your right tricep. Shoulders away from the ears. Inhale, lift. Exhale, shoulders away from the ears as you pull that knee in. Inhale, lift. Step the foot through. Exhale, left foot onto its side. Inhale, rise up, reach your arms. Interlace them behind you. Exhale. Inhale, lift and open your chest. Fold as you exhale, arms up and over. Inhale, root through the feet, reach up. Exhale, hands down, step back through your chaturanga. Same exhale if you can. Inhale, shoulders back. Exhale, downward facing dog. One breath. Full exhale. Left leg, inhale. Knee towards your nose, exhale. Shoulders away from the ears. Inhale, lift. Knee to left tricep, exhale. Inhale, lift. Exhale, knee to right tricep. Inhale, lift. Exhale, step it through. Right foot onto its side. Warrior one, inhale. Interlace your hands, exhale. Inhale, lift and open your chest. Exhale, fold, arms up and over. Inhale, reach your arms, warrior one. Hands down, exhale, step back, lowering through your chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Either staying and maintaining your downward facing dog or find a child's pose. Maybe the forehead comes down, the knees go wide, the hips settle into your heels. Connect to your breath. Slow it down. Two more. Maybe exhaling through the mouth. Again, inhale, last one. Exhale. And then if you're in your child's pose, come back to your downward facing dog. Hips up and back, feet together. Right leg up, inhale, bend the knee, open the hip, exhale. A couple breaths here. Either finding stillness or maybe you do a couple ankle circles here, lifting that hip away from the left shoulder. Maybe you do a few knee circles or hip cars if that feels good. And then straighten the right leg out, square off your hips, and step the foot through. Turn the left foot onto its side. This time align heel to arch. So right heel goes straight back to the left arch. Then you're gonna rise up, warrior two. So bending into that right knee, back hip softens forward towards the front of your mat, but the rib cage rolls open and our arms are wide. Okay, stack your hips directly, stack your shoulders directly over your hips as you bend into that right knee. Try and find a parallel thigh, okay? But pay attention to your pelvis. If you feel like to get a parallel thigh, you start to dump through your low back, I want you to back off that front leg. So neutral pelvis. So your eyes over your right fingertips. And then we're gonna inhale, straighten your front leg, reach your arms up overhead, touch your palms. And then exhale, split the hands, bend into your front leg. This back leg is strong and straight. Inhale, reach up. Ribs are in, exhale, sinking into that right leg. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, sink the hips. Two more, inhale, lift. Exhale, belly's engaged as you sink into that right heel. Last one, inhale. Exhale, sink your hips. Flip your right palm towards the ceiling. Inhale, reverse warrior. Be really light on your left hand. So you should be able to maintain your position with your arm if you were to remove your back hand. So we shouldn't feel like we're bending back so far that we can't hold that position with our core, with our trunk musculature. Energetically reach up towards the ceiling. So this hand is your support. All of this core musculature is your support. And then you're going to keep that length on the right side of your body as you start to hinge forward. Pause. So I want you to pull that right hip back away from the front of the room as much as you can. Reach through the right hand. And then when you can't get any more space on this right side of your waist, you're just going to take your forearm down to your leg. Go ahead. Notice if you ended up crunching through your spine. Can you find more length there? And then take your top arm up towards the ceiling. Take your top hand behind your back and then reach for your inner thigh. And rolling that chest open at the same time that you pull your right hip back. So right hip back, left shoulder back. Pull the ribs in and belly in. And either gazing towards the ceiling, the side, or the floor, but find a position for your gaze and maintain it. And gazing down towards the floor will be a little bit easier for the neck. Rooting through that right heel. Find the strength of your back leg. 2 more breaths. One more full inhale. Maybe get a little lighter on that right forearm. Full exhale. And then inhale, rise back up to your warrior 2. And exhale, cartwheel your hands down to the floor. Step your right leg back. Optional vinyasa, or go right to your downward facing dog. Whatever you need. Thinking about that intention that you set for yourself at the beginning. Exhale down, your downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Strong arms, float that left leg. Bend the knee, open the hip. Think about that right hip lifting away from the right hand. And whatever you did on the other side, match it here. So maybe you did some ankle circles. Maybe you tested out some hip circles. Maybe you just found stillness. Just balance those sides out. And then straighten your left leg out, square off your hips, and exhale, step your left foot in between the hands. Right foot onto its side, heel to arch, and then rise up, warrior 2. Stack your shoulders over your hips. Get a nice deep bend in that that left leg, and soften the right hip forward some as you roll the right rib cage back. So there's this subtle twist through our spine as we find this posture. And feel that right inner thigh lift away from the floor. Feel the right arch lift away from the floor. And see if you can squeeze those heels towards each other. Settling the gaze over the left fingertips. And then we're going to float the left palm towards the ceiling. Inhale, reach up towards the ceiling as we bend back slightly. But again, that left arm is straight up. The right hand should be able to lift and hang freely without supporting your weight. The weight is supported through your trunk musculature. Reach up through the hand. Strong core, strong legs, rooting through the feet to send energy up towards that top arm. And then keeping all that length on the left side of your waist, start to shift forward, reach the arm forward as this left hip pulls back. When you can't get any more space, then the forearm comes down and the top arm will go up. That right hip is still softening down towards the floor. So notice if you just cranked it open, can you bring it down so we're not jamming into our low back? And then we're gonna reach that top arm behind your back. Maybe it just pauses at your low back. Maybe you can reach all the way for the inner thigh to help guide that hip to pull back. And check in with your left shoulder. Notice if the shoulder is reaching towards the right side of your mat. Can you roll it back so you're supported through your lat? That scapula is on the back. Retracting. And then maybe you can get a little lighter with your left arm so you're actually working into the strength of your hip. Rolling your shoulder back. 2 more breaths. Find a spot for your eyes to settle. And then pressing through both heels. Inhale, rise to your warrior 2, strong arms. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down to the floor with control. Step it back into plank. Optional vinyasa, or go right to your downward facing dog. hips up and back. Deep breath in, full breath out. And just take a couple breaths here. Find your stillness, root through the hands, lift through the hips, find the strength in your legs. Two more breaths. Last one. And come high into your toes. Inhale. Bend your knees. Exhale. Look forward, step or float. Feet towards the front of your mat. Inhale, flat back. Engage your upper back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, circle the arms out and up. Stretch tall. Hands to the heart. Exhale. Okay. So those hip circles that we did at the beginning where we were laying on our side, we're going to do those standing. So we're adding a little balance to this where normally we wouldn't add balance to it. But essentially, I'll show you from the front here. We're going to be lifting the leg up. We're going to be bringing it out to the side. This leg stays straight as we can get it. And then we're going to reach back through the heel, trying to keep this pelvis as stable as possible. And we're thinking about holding that tennis ball behind our knee. So we're going to bring it up. We're going to bring it out. We're going to reach it back. And we're going to bring it back in. Okay. And we're going to add that to some other movement. Okay. So just think about that tennis ball holding behind your knee. Think about stabilizing every other part of your body, especially through the pelvis and the low back as we go through that, okay? We're gonna bring our arms out to a T and we're gonna squeeze our fists. So this is called irradiation. So we're gonna create tension through our body, tension through our core, so that when we go to move that hip through space, we have more control of the nearby joints, okay? So arms are gonna go out to a T. Stand really firm and strong into your left foot. Slowly, tennis ball goes behind your knee. You're gonna bring that knee up towards your chest as high as you can. And then we're gonna bring it out to the right as far as you can without letting that left hip come along for the ride. And then you're gonna reach that heel back behind you. Stay really tall. Kick back through the heel. You might get some cramping in your outer hip if this is new to you. We're gonna do one more, knee to chest. Bring it out to the side. Reach back through the heel, squeeze the glute, pause here. You're going to hinge from your hips. Keep the knee deeply bent. Keep your tennis ball. Hinge from the hips. Keep your upper back engaged. Bring your arms back beside you. Squeeze your shoulder blades onto the back. Okay? So we're stabilizing with this left hip. We're squeezing our right heel towards our glute. Lots of hamstring work. Okay? And then we're going to straighten our right leg out slowly. And then you're gonna slowly hinge from your hips and find the floor with your hands. Flat back, inhale, and then exhale, fold, okay? Maybe you're staying here with your hands underneath your shoulders, trying to find space through your spine. Maybe you've got a really strong leg here and you're folding into it. And we're trying to lift our right inner thigh towards the ceiling. Keep the hips stable, keep the pelvis neutral. Couple breaths. One more inhale. Bend your left leg deeply. Exhale. You're going to reach way back. You're going to land that right foot onto the floor. And then we're going to lower our right knee down. Okay, walk your left foot to the left, slightly hand to the inside. Belly is going to pull in. So we're pulling that belt buckle up. So we're stabilizing our pelvis. You're going to sink your hips towards the floor to feel some work and stretching in the front of that right hip flexor. And now I want you to pull slowly that right heel towards your glute actively. So we're working our hamstring to open our quadriceps. Okay, keep your right hand down. Reach your left arm up and around. Do not grab the foot. You're reaching that left arm back, and I want you to squeeze that right heel in closer towards your hip. Keep your belly lifting away from the floor. So it's almost like you're pushing your low back towards the wall behind you, creating a straight spine, creating some space. Big deep breath. Squeeze that right heel in. It might feel like that right hamstring wants to cramp. If it does, come out of it and then come into it as best you can just before you feel that cramp. That cramping, if you do feel it, is just your nervous system saying that it does not have control of this motion yet. We have to work on gaining that. Opening your chest. And then you're going to take your left hand down, slowly release your right foot, straighten the leg out, and you're going to step forward. Right foot meets the left. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, circle the arms out and up, stretch tall. Reach as high as you can and pull the hands to the heart. Exhale. Take a deep breath in. Full breath out, exhale. Okay, other side, bring your feet a little closer together. Arms are gonna go straight out to a side, make a T. Okay, so T with your arms, squeeze your fists. Stand really strong into that right foot. Engage your ribs, brace through your belly, tighten everything up, and then bring that left knee up towards your chest. Find the tennis ball behind your knee. Fight for more range of motion without letting that right knee bend. Okay, try and bring it up high so we're using the strength of our hip flexors. And then bring that knee out to the side without letting the right hip come forward, so it won't actually go straight out, okay? Most people do not have full abduction and hip flexion. Okay, reach back through the heel, kick the wall behind you. Maybe you get a cramp in that hip, okay? Bring it all the way through. Maintain that tennis ball behind the knee. Working on some stability in that right leg. Reach out to the side, kick back, and then freeze here. Hinge from the hips with control, okay? Squeeze that left hamstring. And then bring your arms back beside you. Engage your shoulder blades onto the back. Okay, so we're pausing here, okay, find your stability, and then slowly straighten that left leg out. Good. Slowly hinge at that right hip, find the ground with your hands. Flat back, inhale, exhale, fold. Maybe you're just finding this position and working on finding a straight spine. Maybe you're folding into it if that feels okay. That right leg is super strong and we're lifting up through the right hip. We're engaging the quadricep and we're lifting that left leg from the inner thigh. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Push the floor away. Lift the leg higher. Find a long spine, whatever position you're in. And then you're going to bend that right leg deeply. Reach way back with your left foot. Find the floor. And lower the knee down. And you're going to walk your right foot to the right to create some space for your hand and your hip. Hands will go on the floor beneath you, your shoulders. Pull your belly in. So we're not just sinking into that hip. I want you to feel the stability of your pelvis. And then start to pull that left heel in towards your glute, activating your hamstring. And then reach your right arm up and around without grabbing the foot. You're just reaching back. Maybe you even reach past it. Or maybe you're just reaching for it, but without touching it. And you're gonna actively pull that left heel towards your glute without dropping your hips to the floor. So find stability. Squeeze it in. Deep, full breaths. Good. One more. Squeeze in. And then bring your right hand down. Slowly release your left foot. Straighten your left leg. Walk your right foot back towards center. And then we're going to spin onto the outer edge of your left foot. You're going to walk your hands over into center. So we're walking to the left. Yep, center of your feet. Okay, from here, a couple of different options. One is to bring your hands to your hips and come all the way up. And we're going to do this alternating lateral lunge, okay, shifting side to side, keeping our upper back engaged. Other one is to stay low as you shift side to side, okay? Option one is easier for the hip joint, okay? Option two is harder for the hip joint because you're maintaining that depth, and harder for the legs, okay? So find an option that you'd like to choose today. Other option is, third option, which I didn't say that there was three, but here's the third option. Hands stay on the ground and you just shift and alternate side to side. Whatever variation you choose, I want you to try and engage through the legs rather than just sinking and trying to find a stretch. Find some engagement through the quadriceps, through the hamstrings. Okay, squeezing those feet towards each other. So either hinging, coming back up, hinging, coming back up, or staying low, rocking side to side. pushing from one side to the other. The upper body is engaged in any of these three variations, okay? Just getting into all areas of the hips, pushing the floor, engaging your upper back, engaging through the spine and core, okay? Let's do one more each, whatever side you're on. And then you'll make your way back to the front with the right foot forward, and you'll step your left foot to meet your right. Inhale, flat back to lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bend your knees, drop your hips, chair pose. Hands to the heart, twist to the right, okay? You're either hooking your elbow outside your right thigh or knees separated, hooking your elbow inside your left knee, okay? Easier, this is the modification here. Need a lot more space through that spine if you're twisting for the outside of the right leg, okay? The belly's pulled in, the core is engaged. Using leverage of your hands, root that right hand down into your left. And then check in with your knees. We want to make sure that that left knee has not pushed forward of your right. If it has, pull it back. And notice what has to work now in your upper body, in through your core. And look down, bring your right hand down, and then your left, and fold. Shake your head yes, shake your head no. And then inhale, chair pose, reach your arms up, and hands to the heart. Other side. Find your variation, either elbow outside the opposite leg, the left leg, or on the inner knee. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, find your twist. Strong legs. Make sure that right knee hasn't shifted forward, so pull it back to stabilize the pelvis. Inhale, find length. Exhale, deepen your twist. One more breath. Full exhale. And then look down, hands down, and fold. Inhale, flat back to lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, circle the arms, reach all the way up. Last standing posture. And hands to the heart. Exhale. Inhale, circle the arms, stretch up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Plant your hands, step back into your plank. Slowly lower all the way to your belly. Good. Arms are going to go down by your side, palms flat, feet all the way together. Okay. You're going to press the big toes and the heels together. Squeeze your shoulder blades together, tilt your pelvis down to create space in the low back, and then lift everything up. Those heels will separate, but keep the big toes together if you can. Think about the inner thighs rolling towards the ceiling. Keep that belly lifting away from the floor as you coil your upper spine. Two more breaths. And release, exhale. Press to your hands and knees. Shift back, child's pose. Forehead rests. Rock side to side. And then you're gonna round your back. Slide your hands towards your knees to round and come all the way up. And then you're gonna cross at the ankles. Set your hips behind your feet and then scoot yourself forward. Feet flat on the floor, arms forward. Use your belly, use control to roll all the way down to your back. Hands by your side. Slide your heels back, but take your feet wide. Maybe you take your arms out to a cactus shape. And we're just gonna windshield wiper our legs side to side. Couple more. And then draw those knees in towards your chest. Give your knees a tight squeeze, pulling them, compressing them towards your rib cage, the outer ribs. And then bring your feet up into happy baby. Grab the outer edges of your feet. Root the back of the hips down as you draw your shoulders down. Maybe you massage the soles of your feet with the pads of your fingers. Maybe closing the eyes. And then hugging those knees back in. Rock yourself up to a seat. Cross tightly at your shins. So comfortable cross-legged position. Remove the flesh of the hips out to the side. And then cross those feet even tighter if you can, away from each other. So those shins are still parallel. And then holding onto the front of your knees, inhale, sit up tall. And then exhale, hinge from your hips. And then take your hands forward. And then crawling those hands forward. Maybe your elbows come down. If you have a block or a pillow handy, you can rest your forehead onto that block if that feels good. You can bend your elbows, rest your forehead onto your hands. And find a position that allows you to be still. Softening through the hips. And then walk the hands back up. Lean back, switch the cross of the legs, opposite shin in front. Move the flesh of the hips to the side. Walk your feet further across. And then holding the shins, sit up tall, hinging from the hips. Walk your hands forward and find your comfortable posture. Resting position. Close your eyes. Find your breath. Deepening into the inhales and exhales. And slowly walking your hands back up. Lean back, uncross your feet, and then roll back onto your back. Knees in towards your chest. Drop them over to the left. Look over your right shoulder. Deep breath in. Softening through that right side. Deep breath out. Inhale, bring the knees back up. Drop them over to the right, looking over your left shoulder. And just observe if there's any more openness, any changes from this first spinal twist you had at the beginning. And inhale back through center. Hug your knees in one last time. Tight squeeze, nose to knees, knees to nose. And then exhale into your Shavasana. Straighten the legs. Maybe you're supporting your knees with pillows. And snuggle your shoulders underneath. Allow your feet to rest. And squeeze your toes, squeeze your hands. And then release. Open your jaw really wide. And release. And take your last, fullest, deepest inhale. And out through the mouth, exhale. And keeping those teeth parted, the lips slightly parted. Allow the tongue to soften from the roof of the mouth. And allow your breath to be natural, calm. Observe the breath as it travels in and out naturally. Notice the belly rise and fall. And if you have the opportunity to stay here in your Shavasana, in your resting pose, I encourage you to do so. Otherwise, start to wiggle your fingers and toes. And stretch your arms overhead. And then bending your knees, roll onto your right side. And gently pressing yourself up to a comfortable seat. And eyes closed as you sit up tall, hands resting on your knees. And just taking a moment to observe and reflect on your practice and any shifts that took place for you. And drawing your hands to your heart center. Inhale, lifting your chest. Exhale, bowing your chin and honoring yourself and your practice with gratitude. Inhale, lifting the head, thumbs to your third eye center. And the light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.